Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod in Miami. The Jalen Ramsey saga continues to simmer, drawing closer to what feels like an inevitable trade as training camp approaches. For now, Ramsey remains a member of the Dolphins. But anyone paying attention can see that both sides are leaning toward a split. The tension is no longer subtle, it's palpable. Miami wants to move on. And Ramsey is clearly open if not eager for a new chapter. Yet, as often happens in the NFL, it's not just about emotions or intentions, it's about timing, money, and leverage, according to Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated. All signs point to late July as the next critical checkpoint in this unfolding drama. That's when veteran players report for training camp July 22nd. To be exact, that date could very well be the spark that ignites a trade. Because once camp begins, the standoff becomes uncomfortable. That's when the media circus rolls into town, and the questions won't stop. Breer doesn't just hint at a possible move, he doubles down. He predicts that a trade will happen just before training camp kicks off, as the Dolphins look to avoid the awkwardness of having Ramsey in the building. When everyone knows his days in teal and orange are numbered, it's a logistical puzzle, and it's taking time to put the pieces in place, but time is running out. The idea that Miami and Ramsey could somehow reconcile seems far-fetched at this stage. Breer even used the toothpaste analogy once it's out of the tube. Good luck trying to put it back in. That's where things stand. The relationship is strained to the point where continuing into the 2025 season together doesn't seem realistic. Ramsey, known for his confident and at times polarizing personality, isn't the kind of guy who blends quietly into the background. If he's unhappy, everyone will know. And then, of course, there's the question of where he might land. The Los Angeles Rams continue to float to the top of the rumor mill, and for good reason. They know Ramsey well. He was a key part of their Super Bowl run, and there's mutual respect between player and organization. ESPN's Adam Schefter added fuel to the fire recently by saying Ramsey would prefer to head back to the West Coast. That's not shocking. The weather, the lifestyle, and the proximity to his previous NFL home make the Rams an ideal fit from Ramsey's point of view. But a trade isn't just about preferences, it's about finances, and that's where things start to get complicated, very complicated. Because while the Rams might like the idea of a reunion, they're not exactly in a position to write a blank check. Head coach Sean McVay has been transparent about the challenges of making a deal work. On paper, Ramsey fits. In reality, there's the matter of his salary. Over $20 million in guarantees is a massive number for any team to absorb, especially one that's trying to maintain flexibility with a young core of players due for contract extension soon. The Rams have been savvy about their cap space recently, pivoting from their star-heavy strategy to a more sustainable model. Committing to Ramsey financially would be a big swing, and to make matters more complex, they'd also have to give up draft capital. That's the major hurdles in one trade package. It's not impossible, but it's also not something that can be rushed. The Rams have to weigh the short-term impact against the long-term vision, and that calculus is far from simple. Meanwhile, Miami holds a valuable card, but not without some conditions. The Dolphins want to trade Ramsey, that much is clear, but they also want value in return. That means they're not just going to give him away. Even if the relationship is fractured, the sticking point, according to multiple reports, revolves around how much of Ramsey's salary the receiving team is willing to absorb. That negotiation is ongoing, and it's likely the biggest reason why a deal hasn't been finalized yet. Miami isn't desperate, and they have enough leverage to hold out for a fair package. Still, the clock is ticking. Training camp brings urgency, and urgency forces decisions. Both sides will have to give a little, but the sense is, one way or another, something's going to give. For those unfamiliar with Ramsey's journey, his career has been one of consistent impact and high expectations. Drafted in the first round by the Jacksonville Jaguars back in 2016, he quickly established himself as one of the league's premier cornerbacks. His rookie deal was a 4-year pact, worth over $23 million, and it didn't take long for the Jaguars to pick up his 5th-year option. But even then, it was clear that Ramsey had bigger plans. His tenure in Jacksonville ended with a high-profile trade to the Rams that cost Los Angeles the first-round picks and a 4th. That move paid off. Ramsey helped elevate the Rams' defense to elite status and became a vocal leader in the locker room. He later signed a monster 5-year, $105 million extension, further cementing his place among the NFL's elite. That brings us to the present day after a couple of seasons. In LA, Ramsey was traded once again, this time to the Dolphins. He made an immediate impact in Miami and later signed a 3-year, $70.3 million deal in 2024. At age 30, he's still performing at a high level. Last season, he started all 17 games and posted solid numbers: 60 tackles, 2 interceptions, a sack, and 11 passes defended. That production, combined with his experience and leadership, makes him a desirable asset. But it's the price tag and the baggage that complicate things. Teams know what they're getting, but they also know what it costs. Ramsey isn't just another player, he's a statement. Acquiring him signals you're in win-now mode. Not every team is ready to make that kind of declaration still. There are contenders out there who could use a player like Ramsey. Think about teams on the cusp, squads that have strong rosters, but need that one piece in the secondary to push them over the top. Ramsey could be that piece. He's a proven performer with playoff experience and a competitive edge that coaches love. He talks a big game and backs it up. For a team willing to navigate the financials, the reward could be huge. But again, the logistics are everything. It's one thing to want Ramsey. It's another to make the numbers work, both now and down the road. That's why this situation has dragged on, and that's why the next few weeks will be so fascinating to watch. Looking ahead, the July 22nd date looms large. That's when this slow burn story could finally erupt. Ramsey showing up to camp in Miami would be headline material, and not in a good way. The Dolphins don't want distractions, they want clarity, and so does Ramsey. A trade before that date would allow both sides to move forward cleanly. The question is whether the right deal will materialize in time. The calls are happening. The offers are being discussed. It's a waiting game now, but in the NFL, things often happen quickly once the pressure ramps up. Don't be surprised if we see breaking news in the days leading up to training camp. The timing feels just right and the stakes couldn't be higher. So stay tuned, because this is far from over. Jalen Ramsey's name is back in the spotlight, and wherever he ends up, it's going to make waves. Whether it's a return to the Rams, a surprise West Coast suitor, or even a dark horse team that's flying under the radar, this trade has the potential to reshape a secondary and maybe even tilt the balance of power in the conference. For now, all we can do is wait and watch, but rest assured, the NFL never stays quiet for long. And with a star like Ramsey on the move, the next chapter is guaranteed to be compelling. We'll keep you updated as soon as more news breaks, because this story is just getting started. Still with us? Then show some love, hit that like button, and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? The buzz is loud, folks, louder than a packed Hard Rock Stadium on third down. And today, we're diving deep into a rumor that's got Dolphins Nation in a frenzy. Jalen Ramsey, yes, that Jalen Ramsey has officially missed mandatory minicamp, and the silence surrounding his absence has fans, analysts, and insiders scrambling for answers. While the official line from the Dolphins is a vague nod to personal reasons, the streets, and by streets, I mean NFL Twitter and Reddit, are whispering something a little more dramatic. What if Jalen's not just missing practice? What if he's planning an escape, and not just any escape, but a coast-to-coast return to the City of Angels? You heard it right. Whispers are starting to point toward a possible reunion between Jalen Ramsey and the bright lights of Los Angeles. Could this be the biggest twist of the offseason? We all remember how dominant Ramsey was during his stint with the Rams, locking down elite receivers, leading that Super Bowl run, and becoming a face of the franchise. That swagger, that edge, that primetime presence, it was also LA. And now, with the Rams rebuilding their secondary and some cap room to play with, could there be smoke behind this fire? It's not like the Rams haven't made bold moves before. Les Snead's entire reputation is built on swinging for the fences. Could Jalen be the next big swing? Let's rewind a little. Ramsey was traded to the Dolphins with big expectations. This was supposed to be a defensive renaissance. Ramsey and Xavier Howard locking down the corners, Vic Fangio crafting nightmares for opposing QBs. But that dream took a hit early when Ramsey suffered a torn meniscus before the season even started. He came back, no doubt, and made his presence felt. But was it ever quite the fit people imagined? Behind closed doors, there's been some talk, whispers, again, about friction with the coaching staff, and questions about his long-term role in this system. Was the Miami experiment just that? An experiment? Then there's the question of culture. Ramsey is a big personality, a vocal leader, a guy who thrives in the spotlight. In Miami, that spotlight is crowded. Tyreek Hill, Tua, Waddle, even Mike McDaniel's quirky genius. All eyes aren't always on Ramsey in LA. Though he was the guy, could he be missing that shine? One source close to the team reportedly said Ramsey hasn't been himself this offseason. Now, that could mean a lot of things: rehab fatigue, off-season blues, or it could hint at deeper dissatisfaction. Players don't just disappear from mandatory team events without serious reasons. And when it's a star like Yelen, you better believe there's something simmering. And then, there's the Instagram activity. Oh yeah, we're going there. Ramsey, usually prolific on social media, has been unusually quiet. No Dolphins-related posts in weeks, and this is where it gets juicy. He recently liked a post from Cooper Kupp. Nothing dramatic, just a reminiscing on that Super Bowl run photo. But in this league, social media breadcrumbs often lead to real-life moves. Ask A.J. Brown. Ask Deebo Samuel. The online behavior of NFL stars isn't just noise anymore. It's become part of the negotiation, part of the narrative, part of the drama. Some insiders have pointed out a curious bit of scheduling. Ramsey was reportedly spotted in Los Angeles just last week. Vacation, maybe. But here's the kicker. He was seen entering the Rams facility, or at least near it, according to a very eager fan who posted photos online. Now, we can't confirm if that meeting actually happened, but if it did, that's a major eyebrow raiser. Combine that with his minicamp absence and the lack of communication from either Ramsey or the Dolphins, and you start to get a picture that's hard to ignore. Could we be on the verge of a blockbuster move? Let's talk numbers for a second. If the Dolphins were to move on from Ramsey, it wouldn't be simple, but it wouldn't be impossible either. The dead cap hit would sting, but Miami's front office has proven willing to make bold, strategic cuts when needed. On the Rams side, they've just cleared some space, and with their young secondary looking thin, bringing back a veteran presence like Ramsey could be exactly what they need. Remember, this is the team that traded for Matthew Stafford, Von Miller, and Odell Beckham Jr. in the same year. They don't play it safe when they see a window. Now, of course, we need to take a step back. This is all speculation. Nothing official has been said, and there's always the chance that this is just a case of personal leave, something family-related, or a minor disagreement that'll be resolved before training camp. But in the NFL, and especially in June, when the rumor mill churns hardest, the absence of answers often invites the wildest possibilities. And this one, it feels just plausible enough to be real, especially when you consider the personalities involved and the history between Ramsey and the Rams. One thing's for sure, if Ramsey does end up back in LA, it'll be one of the most talked about twists of the offseason. The Dolphins will have to regroup, their defense will need a new identity, and the Rams, they'd instantly jump from fringe playoff contender to legitimate NFC threat. Ramsey's presence changes locker rooms, changes game plans, changes narratives. And if he's really packing his bags for Hollywood again, the whole league is going to feel that ripple. This isn't just a personnel move, it's a headline. So, buckle up, folks, whether it's just a false alarm or the start of something seismic. The Yelen Ramsey saga is heating up. We'll be watching every post, every update, every cryptic quote, because in this league, rumors have a funny way of becoming reality. And if Ramsey really is LA bound again, this summer just got a whole lot more interesting. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.